Good morning. Oh, is it working? Is it good? All right, there we go. So I started making this actually the day after we got back from youth camp, because it was that Sunday. You were talking about being like inside, outside the light, and I don't know, something just kind of, I was like, I could make a Devo out of that. And then we were looking for a new fridge at the time. Right after church, we went to like Lowe's. I just stayed in the car, and I just started making one up, and I was like, stuff was coming to me, and I made about half of what I have now, just without the verses. But as a metaphor, the sun is like God, and he's a brilliant shining light, and things like trees that create shade from the sun are like evil or sin. And one is a physical light and one's spiritual. 1 John chapter 1, at the end of verse 5, it says, God is a light, and there is no darkness in him at all. John, just plain old John, 1:5 says, the light shines through the darkness, and the darkness can never extinguish it. Where are you standing? In the light or behind an object that creates shade and takes light away from you? You have to get rid of the things in your life that are blocking you from his light. Ask yourself what those things are and start to find ways to get rid of those things. Like Pastor Starlene has said before, you can't be in the middle. You have to either be in the light or in the dark. There's no in between. And maybe you're afraid to get out from under the shade because it's too comfortable, but know that there are people out there who are in the same situation or who are in a better situation than you and are willing to help. When you let people know, it makes it easier to get out of that situation that you feel like you're in and, whatever's on your heart. For me, what's kept me from the light mostly were my old friends and, school. I was able to let go of my old friends right after youth camp as well. And but school is that thing that I have to go to, and no matter where I go, it's just you're constantly surrounded by everything that's there. And it just, drug me deeper and deeper in like getting away from his light. But after coming to this church, where I actually got involved and I started paying attention, and after youth camp, I realized exactly who I needed to be surrounded by, which were the people who were here, and people from youth. And like I said, I made that really tough decision after youth camp, and that was to slowly let my friends away. And I just kind of cut off from like our group chat and then Xbox, and then just kind of put them out there in a way. But I'm still, I've cut that tree down. They're out of the way, but there's still part of another one, which is school, which I can't get away from. And it's hard to be yourself and who you want to be for God when you're surrounded by things you exactly don't want to be surrounded by. It's hard when your judgment becomes cloudy because of the things that are around you, but I know as a follower of God, things are not always going to be easy, and you should know that as well. If you're struggling, pray about it and double down on the word. I know it's something that I need to do. I've been putting it off because I'm a really good procrastinator for one. And I have been pretty busy lately. But here's your credit, Jordan. As Youth Pastor Jordan says, instead of saying I don't have time, try saying it's not a priority and see how that feels. So even though you may be in the dark, there are ways to get into the light of God. It's not going to be easy, but I believe it'll be worth it once you cut those things down and fully get into his light. 1 John chapter 1, verse 7 says, but if we are living in the light as God is in the light, then we have fellowship with each other, and the blood of Jesus, his son, cleanses us all from sin. As a true believer, the last thing you want is to be in sin, so clearing the objects that are shading you and keeping you in sin will put you in the light, in a more joyful life, and in a closer relationship with God.